Why do Western terms like socialism, communism, and capitalism, so deeply ingrained in our global discourse, seem to lose their relevance when we turn our attention to Africa? This isn't a rhetorical question, but a genuine inquiry into how we understand and narrate world politics and economics. Western perspectives often regard socialism, communism, and capitalism as distinct economic systems, each with its own set of principles, values, and outcomes. Socialism represents collective ownership and equality. Communism, a more extreme version of socialism, advocates for a classless, stateless society. Capitalism, on the other hand, celebrates individualism, competition, and private property. However, applying these terms directly to Africa might seem like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. African perspectives on these concepts are not as clear-cut as their Western counterparts. In Africa, the line between socialism, communism, and capitalism is often blurred. The African understanding of these concepts is much more fluid and deeply rooted in the continent's rich history and diverse cultures. For instance, the concept of Ubuntu, a philosophy from southern Africa, embodies a kind of communalism that shares similarities with socialism and communism, yet maintains unique characteristics that make it distinctly African. Similarly, practices of trade and entrepreneurship across African societies show elements of competition and private ownership, hinting at capitalism. Yet, these practices are often regulated by social norms and communal interests, making them different from the cutthroat competition often associated with Western capitalism. However, the misuse and misunderstanding of these terms by Western powers and media have often led to misinterpretations and misrepresentations of African realities. These terms, designed to fit the Western socio-economic structures, are often ill-suited to capture the complex realities of African societies. They are used as labels, as simplistic explanations for complex issues, and in the worst cases, as justifications for interference and exploitation. For instance, the term corruption, often associated with African politics, is a manifestation of this misuse. While corruption is a global issue, using it as a blanket term to define African politics negates the diversity and complexity of political practices across the continent. It also conveniently overlooks the systemic corruption within Western political systems, often hidden under layers of bureaucracy and legality. Moreover, the history of Africa's struggle for independence and its ongoing journey towards development is often overshadowed by narratives of Western superiority and paternalism. The significant contributions of countries like China and Russia to Africa's independence movements are often overlooked, while America and the West are seen as the saviors, despite their historical indifference and current neo-colonial tendencies. The term Africa Command, a symbol of American military presence in Africa, is another example of this misuse. It implies a sense of control and dominance that is not only offensive to many Africans, but also reflects a fundamental misunderstanding of the continent's independence and sovereignty. To sum up, it is crucial to recognize the misuse of terms like socialism, communism, capitalism, and even corruption when discussing Africa. These Western concepts, while useful in certain contexts, often fail to capture the complexities of African societies. They are frequently used as tools of misrepresentation and exploitation, rather than as means to understand and engage with Africa in a respectful and meaningful way. So, the next time you hear these terms being used in relation to Africa, take a moment to question their relevance and accuracy. Remember, Africa, with its rich history and diverse cultures, cannot be confined within the narrow boundaries of Western terminology.